After years of bitter battles over how to fund the government, which included a shutdown and several short-term fixes, we now have a budget. President Obama signed a $1.1 trillion law yesterday. It overwhelmingly passed both chambers this week. The budget spells out how much money each federal agency will get for the 2014 fiscal year. The president thanked staffers and described the importance of this agreement.
These aren't numbers. These are, homeless folks who are getting housing. These are a laid-off worker who suddenly is enrolling in that community college and finding that job that allows them to save a home and get back on track. That's some young scientist who's maybe going to find a cure for cancer or Alzheimer's. That's what those numbers represent.
Wisconsin Democratic Congresswoman Gwen is a member of the House Budget Committee, and she voted for that spending bill. She joins us live. Thank you very much. Congresswoman, I want to go through.
Good morning.
I want to go through some of the highlights of the budget. I want to read a few things off to you. There is no new funding to implement the health care law, but it maintains current funding levels for Medicare and Medicaid services. Embassies will get less money for security. More than $8 billion are set aside for Head Start programs, and U.S. military personnel will get a 1% pay increase. So, once again, you voted for it. What are we celebrating about this budget? And should we be celebrating this budget?
We're not. You really did point out some of the worst features of the bill, and of course, the obvious thing is that we didn't fund long-term unemployed persons and their families, and that's a growing problem. But you did name some of the really sticking points in this budget. So I don't know that we're dancing in the street, but what we're celebrating is that we literally, to use Maria Shriver's narrative, pulled millions of people from the brink of catastrophe. And certainly we have staved off yet another continuing resolution at the sequester levels and really stanched a lot of the human misery that the sequester caused.
As you were just saying, is this a step in the direction to avoid other potential crises as we're approaching the debt ceiling deadline?
Well, absolutely. And as we approach the debt ceiling crisis, my concern is that Republicans will continue to use things like the unemployment insurance, things that we really, really need to not only help individuals, but to help our economy. I want people to remember, when you have 1.3 million people unemployed and then 72,000 people joining the ranks of those folks that won't get unemployment every week thereafter, you're talking about 200,000 jobs that are going to be lost. You're talking about millions, billions of dollars being lost in the economy. That unemployment insurance provides $1.50 for every dollar that we provide toward our economic benefits. So those big box stores that found that they weren't getting their money at the end of the holiday season, those were unemployed people who weren't spending money. And so we're harming our economy, and I just am one of the people, and I hope, it sounds like folk like Speaker Boehner and Paul Ryan, Republicans in the House, really understand that they need to govern.
Well, I think that people are obviously very frustrated, and so are probably politicians alike. But for people who are outside of Washington, it does look a bit like there are some political games going on. So what is next?
Oh, absolutely.
What has to happen next to actually fix this?
Well, actually, John Boehner has got to stand up to the billionaire funders of the Tea Party, which he has done recently. They're the people that didn't want this budget deal passed. They didn't want to end the sequester. They're people that want this brinksmanship and this drama. And he said just recently that it's ridiculous and that these funders, these billionaires are just using their members and their campaign contributions, and he's tired of it. Paul Ryan recently said that, they're the majority party. They need to govern. So if they continue, if the Republicans in the House continue on this path, you know, they realize that the people might turn on them, because no longer are we talking about the proverbial welfare queen that we're trying to support. Literally a third of our population are finding themselves on the brink of some sort of economic catastrophe because of the way we're handling our budget.
All right, Wisconsin Congresswoman Gwen Moore, thank you very much.
Thank you.